little present here, turned up in the mail. Let's get it open. Rightio guys, there it is. Our Aeroflow intake manifold. If I can work it out, open it. Our kit it is. It's an intake manifold and fuel rails. There with the rails, there is our intake, and it is very, very low, which is what I was hoping for. So hopefully I've got all my measurements right. Let's sit her on the engine over here. Remember, if I remember rightly, it was 220 mil to that plate to the bonnet. Hopefully this fits a hell of a lot better than the ProFlow ones do. Looks like all the bolt holes are lining up pretty neat. Righto, here, this should be our throttle body. Oh, comes in a little box. It's a bit different, it's a bit special. A little plastic box, billet 4-barrel throttle body. There we go. So got some gaskets, got some vacuum nozzles, some screws there. These will be the idle air control motor. That will be our throttle position switch sensor. Some stickers. It's gone to a fair bit of trouble. No wonder they cost so much. It costs more for the packaging than it does for the parts. Okay, there is our throttle body. Look how low that is. Okay, let's sit it on there. Be a couple of mil higher because, of course, this motor's a little bit slanted. What's going on here? Alright, I'm going to grab a tape. So, from there to there was 220 mil. And I think I measured it was 169 or 170 mil to the top of that. 170 exactly. It'll go up a mil with the gasket. So we've got to 220 to there with a drop base. I'll put a drop base on it and we'll see. Here's our drop base. Just got to stop it from sliding off. Righto, new measurement, and we'll pull that down. So I just want to go to the top side of the air cleaner, and we have got just under 210. So let's say 210 with a gasket. We're going to have 10 mil clearance to the bonnet. I reckon it's going to fit, guys, and it's going to look tough as fuck. I love it. Beauty! Up here today, I'm going to give this all a pressure wash, get all this pressure washed, and then I'll get the Scotch Brights onto it. Scotch Bright all the I've got to pull that off. Scotch Bright all the firewall. I'll get some sanding happening on here. It's pretty good. I don't really want to go over the chassis number. I might tape that up. I'll see how I go. Get it scuffed up so we get some paint to stick to it. Also, what I'm going to do is they've got a bit of butchering happening here now. I've only put this tape on it so I can pressure wash it, guys. I'm not leaving it on there. But they've got a bit of butchering happening here for the throttle pedal. I don't know what they've done there. Looks a bit fucking rank. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this in there and fix up the hole, weld that in there so I can run a Commodore, a Commodore throttle cable. It'll go in there, hook up to there and come out and run onto the throttle body. It'll be a shitload better. Alrighty, now what I'm doing now is I'm just prepped the engine, ready to get it painted. It's all done. I've washed it all down, washed it with Prepsol or wax and grease, and now I'm going to put some epoxy. I've got black epoxy, we're painting it gloss black. I've got the epoxy primer there, and I've thinned it out so it's nice and thin, so it'll go on, and then I can just wet on wet it. I can spray it, let it tack off, and then I'll whack the gloss 2-pack paint over it and we'll see what it comes up like. Alright, I'll get stuck into it. Alrighty, there we are, just whack some epoxy on it. We just want the gloss black to really stick and hang on there. So that's just a thin coat of epoxy, not too thick. I didn't want it wrinkling up, I wanted it going like paint, so I thinned it right out. And that's good enough for the paint to stick to. So let's get some gloss black mixed up. Mashed on first coat, just whacked it on there. It's glossed it up. It's going to need a couple of coats. I've got plenty of paint there, so we're glossing it all up. Starting to look the goods. Whew, stinks in there. Alright, I'm going to let that go off. I might go and have some lunch and I'll come back and do a second. So what I did, no, I didn't film it, sorry guys. I got stuck in and scuffed all the chassis back. Got the 80 grit paper and rubbed it all back. The best where I could get into, especially on the flat bits. Then I checked the paint, and the chassis paint must have been an acrylic paint. So I wasn't going to be able to spray the 2-pack over top of the acrylic. Well, I could have, but you've got issues where it could fry up and or cause all the problems. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I get some marine clean out, give it a scrub? So I scrubbed it all with a Scotch Brite, with a red Scotch Brite with a marine clean. And I grabbed our KBS, the KBS black chassis top coat, and which is it's like a self-leveling paint, and it comes up glossy as good as the gloss black does. And I brushed it all on and it's come up really nice, as good as I'm going to be able to get it without deburring the whole chassis, but that's not the job I'm doing on this one. We weren't going to deburr, not where we have on this one, our tonner, we deburred the whole chassis. When I mean I deburred it, we got in here and we ground all the welds back and all the slag, and you can see bits of slag and that all over the place from when they built the chassis. But this job doesn't want to go to that extreme, and it's not for everybody. What we do it because I just like to do things properly. I did recommend we could do that, but he's budget conscious and he doesn't want to go. He's already spent a lot of money on the car and he's trying to keep it under wraps. So we are doing the best job we can with what we've got available. So it's come up okay. It's pretty nice. I still want to spray all this with the 2-pack. That is 2-pack. I checked that. So that is going to be no problems. If I scuff all this back, I've already scuffed it with a Scotch Brite. I'll go over it. I've got to get in here where I took that off. I've got to get inside and tape it all up. But I'm going to hit that with a gun. I'm going to spray all that with a gun and make all that look, we'll have a gun finish and should look pretty sweet. So I've made up a triangle plate here. That's over here. There it is there. I've welded my little thing on and it's going to go on there like that, and then we can fit the Commodore throttle pedal cable onto it. Just put a bit of filler around where I welded it. I'll let that all cure and sand all that back flat so it looks nice and neat and cool. And there we go. Engine's all done. I think I've already showed you this, but we'll show you again. So engine's all painted up in gloss black. It's come up really nice. I'm pretty happy with it. It's getting, as I said, we've got a black intake going on it, which I'm not sure if it's going to match yet. I might have to paint that too. We've got covers for it, rocker covers or coil covers to go on it. We're looking at a black water pump and a black alternator. So she's all going to be blacked out, but it's looking all right. We're getting there. We've got the old girl in the booth. That's all rubbed back. It's I've got to give it a good prep sole and clean it all up. We decided to leave that on there, paint that on there because it's all glued or stuck on to there. And I didn't really want to spend an hour cleaning all the shit off it. and I want to paint it black anyway, so still should come up okay. So all good. We'll see what it comes up like. Alrighty, so that's one coat. Brother and I were talking last night, and we were a little bit worried that the KBS gloss black wasn't going to come up the same as the gloss black, the Baslac gloss black, so I scuffed all the chassis back again with just a red Scotch Brite. Where is it? Oh fuck, what have I done with it? Oh, it's over here. Just a red Scotch Brite, scuffed all that back, all the chassis back, and I'll give it a hit with the Baslac black. That's just one coat on it. I want to do good 2 coats, so I'm going to let that flash off and give it another one. There we go. Got a bit over 2 coats on it, probably 2.5, a little bit more. I just hope that's as good as the inner guards, because they were gloss black, and I hope it's all the same colour. But it's come up pretty sweet. Pretty happy with that. I think Dave will be very happy with that. Alright, I'll let it cure. I'll probably unmask it and I'll evacuate this room, get all the overspray off, out, unmask it, and get it back down to the workshop, and we can put the motor back in it. Monaro is back up at the workshop. I just slipped the motor back in. It's all back in there. And I got now I need to put the extractors back on it and see if we can make this intake fit. So there we go. There we go. There is our make-believe Holden motor, and it's all going to work. We're going to have to run short injectors, probably the something like I got in Mako, little short ones, or something like in a 6 litre, and air cleaner, probably a black air cleaner. Thinking about these look a bit flat, so they probably need painting, but we're debating whether we don't paint them yellow with a stripe on them, or a GDS, brother, you reckon? GDS, how are we going to do that? Just get a sticker.
The badge you put on it.
Yeah.
GDS badge.
But that's what it's looking like, and if you have a look under here, we look down here, it looks like we've got plenty of room to the bonnet. So it should be rusting away here this morning. Got our fuel rails on, got the I've got LS2 injectors in it, which are the short ones. I'll have to get new different wiring connectors to wire in, which is not a big deal. That's pretty easy. So boosters on, put that on, and it fouled on the rocker cover. Is actually exactly the same on Mako and the Stato, because the booster's so big, it just fouled there. So I've had to cut that section out just to make the rocker cover clear, which is not a problem. That's good. So that's on. Throttle cable is on. This is just a 6-cylinder throttle cable. I'm going to need a V8 one because they're a bit longer. That's all hooked up. I'm not sure if I'm going to run it at the front or the rear at this stage. We'll see. So fuel rail, transfer pipe, block off there, and AN8 is going to go in there, and I'll probably just use the Corvette fuel filter with the 58 PSI regulator in it. So it'll be a deadhead system up here, and it'll bypass back at the tank. But tank's on its way. That should be here in the next week or so, and we ought to get stuck into that. Alrighty. Dave's come and dropped off as a little present. He's got his fuel tank here. It's pretty swish looking gear. Looks pretty nice. What do we call retro fuel? United Speed Shop. Just got to get a fuel sender for it. Well, we're going to put it in, but I've had to order up some AN fittings for here and an AN line kit. So there's the fuel, bolts onto the there, it goes up in the car. So At this stage, that's about all we can do for this episode. Till we get some bits and pieces, we can't really do a lot more. Alrighty, well, there you are on the HQ. Look, quits in this episode. We're getting there. I've got a lot of parts ordered for it. Dave's home from his holidays, come out and had a look. He's very happy with it. So now I'm just waiting on parts, and it looks like because it's getting close to Christmas, parts are taking longer to get here, unfortunately. We're not sure when I'll get the next episode up, but until then, we'll keep trucking along. Got plenty of other stuff on the go to show you. We've got another drag challenge night coming up soon. We'll get some of that. Got some other stuff we're doing for Central Drag Challenge. I've got another build coming for you to show you about that. Oh, it's just a job, but we'll get there. We'll show you that. All right, well, that'll do for this episode. Thanks for coming along and watching. If you haven't subscribed, please jump on and subscribe, hit the bell, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.